I'm not impressed, man. I'm not impressed, man. We're going to talk about it all, man. We're going to talk about it all, man. The face of boxing is not impressed, man. I'm not impressed, man. What the fuck, bro? Can somebody... Can't stand them damn PBC niggas hogging up all the face of boxing's air. God damn it. All right, man. That's my shit, though. Ah. I know. Shout out to the fucking face of boxing's eyebrows. Shout out to the face of boxing's eyebrows, man. We back at it once again. What's up, fight fans? It's your man, the face of boxing, a.k.a. Deuce the Reaper, a.k.a. Mr. Two Hands Up, 3K the Boss. Fah Fah. You already know what it is. And this is another episode of the face of boxing. And this is part 3 of the motherfucking trick bag. Let's go ahead and get into it. We all know why we're here. We all know what we're about to talk about. We all know what we're about to get into. So, Bruce Ford, salute. Yo, he says, yo, let's go. Avengers assemble. I guess, man, they gotta be the fucking Avengers, man, because I feel like I'm Thanos, and I'm fighting the fucking Avengers, man. All these niggas going against the grain. All these motherfuckers going against the grain. They don't know you can't go against God's work. This God's plan, homie. This ain't mine. This God's plan. This ain't mine. I feel like Thanos going against all of these punk-ass Avengers in the YTBC. Because there's a whole lot of them. Isaiah, salute. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. They say I'll be on my Clayton Bigsby shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers don't know. But on the top of my head, I got a tattoo that says the PPC's Black Klansman. No cap. No cap. It's there. You might not be able to see it, but it's there. It'll be in 2D, in all black tomorrow. Dragon Leg, 5-5, what it do? IBH, what's popping? Listen, man, we got a lot to talk about, man. We got a lot to talk about, man. We got a lot to talk about, man. I don't know what the fuck that was earlier. Man. But maybe y'all can explain it to me. Because of course I got a bunch of shit I can explain to y'all. A bunch of shit. Skitty. This fucking drool, yeah. Skitty with the goddamn headphones. Skitty with the phones on. Social joint salute. Oh yeah. We talking about the press conference. All of it was a charade. All of it was a joke. All of it was Pictionary. That shit was one big thing of Pictionary. That shit was a fucking joke, man. Like this dude. What planet did this dude come from, man? If we had a planet called No Heart, that's where Deontay Wilder was birthed, man. If there ever was a planet called No Heart, Backbone, or just Wet Pussy, fuck that. If there was a planet just called Wet Slithering Pussy, Deontay Wilder came from it. Wow. The nerve of this dude. Like the nerve of this dude. And I knew that shit was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. I'm going to tell y'all what I knew was going to happen, man. I knew that he was going to get out there and have his little white master, He was, what he usually do, I knew he was going to have Malik do that shit. Because the nigga too pussy to speak for itself. What did I tell y'all earlier before y'all watched that press conference? What did I say? What did I say? I said, what did I say? I said, don't get caught in the trick bag, man. I said, don't get caught in the trick bag, man. Verified strange salute. He said the South don't approve. I bet y'all don't. I bet y'all don't. I bet that nigga's, at this point, this nigga will be an orphan. He should go ahead and sell his house, man. They got some nice favelas over in South America, Puerto Rico, somewhere for him. Let me take a drink of water. We're gonna put all of this shit in perspective because, oh my God, that was fucking fantastic. Out of all of the shit that happened, yo, he came with a bodyguard. His bodyguard tried to protect him, and he failed. How is it that two people? I always talk about how the universe works, y'all. Is it not ironic? And isn't it very fucking interesting that when this cocksucker don't have the nerve to open his mouth, he act like he listening to music the whole time. When the girl tapped on him, I promise y'all that nigga was hearing everything Christina Ponce was saying. I guarantee you, or whatever her name is, Christina, her little pretty eyes self, with all her little pretty eyes. I guarantee you he heard everything. But here's the deal. It's crazy how the universe works, how you get your whole how you get cherry Kool-Aid popped out your ear and then the other nigga get fruit punch popped out of his. That nigga was up there crying about, bro, why would you bring that up? You know, it's sparring. You're a 260-pound guy. See, this is the excuses that y'all have been, this is the excuses y'all have been subjected to. The same kind of curveballs that boxing have been throwing y'all for a while. In the heavyweight division, do you think a 5'10", 5'9" Mike Tyson was ever making excuses about the Trevor Burbics? Do you think he was ever making excuses about the Andre Gouladas? Do you ever think he was making excuses about the Razor Ruddicks, the Frank Brunos, the Bruce Seldons, the Eastern Assassins of the world, the Michael Spinks of the world? Do you ever think he was making excuses for any of those guys with all of their height and what they brought to the table? So this is what they trying to sell y'all now. They trying to act like Fury's size is the biggest advantage in the fight. Fury ain't even Diesel like that. Fury big, but he fat. He big, but he fat. He been working on getting himself together the last 4 fights. The last 4 fights. Acknowledge the fact that your nigga's a bum. He's a bitch. He's a pussy. He's a scrub. He's all of the above. He comes from planet no heart. He comes from planet leaky legs, man. That nigga comes from planet leaky legs, man. Pussy juice dripping all between his leaky ass legs, man. So, okay. How unprofessional is it, first of all? I'm over this joint rock and woo and everything, right, man? For real, I just took a long nap because I needed a long nap after all of that shit. I ain't even going to fake for y'all. I really needed a nice nap to get myself together, for real. I ain't even think I was ready to do this tonight because there's so much to compile. There's so much to take in. That truth, it's a fucking lot. It's a lot. Let's start off at the beginning. 300-pound Fury. Beneficial or nah? It's on you. 300-pound Fury. What do you guys think about that? Tyson Fury coming in at 300 pounds. Do you think that's an over-exaggeration? Do you think that's a little bit of do you think that's a bit of an inflation on truth? Do you guys think that he's really planning on doing something like that? No. If anything, Him mentioning 300-pound Fury, he already knows that he's bullying the fuck out of this coward. He already know that he has his fucking heart in his back pocket. He already know he has a soul in his fifth pocket. And he already knows that he got his motherfucking track shoes thrown up somewhere up underneath a Las Vegas fucking gym. Because you can't run from this one, ready or not. You can't run. You can't hide. He gonna find you and make you leak Kool-Aid. 300 pounds ain't gonna do it, bro. You come in there at 300 pounds, you gonna walk in that bitch like the European Michelin Man. I promise you that. Wide and all outside. Fury is just laying in the intimidation factor. I thought another smart tactic that Fury did was the fact that he was willing to play Deontay Wilder during the press conference because this guy was too much of a coward to speak. And I honestly would have preferred that. I would have loved to hear what Tyson Fury would have had to say because deep down inside, I know what other people weren't thinking because they were too worried about how unprofessional this guy was. He was listening to every word that man said. He was sitting there the whole time like this, eating food, rocking back and forth, trying to build himself up. Y'all know what scared dudes do? Like, I'm sure everybody had that friend. You couldn't fight for him. And you got tired of him seeing him getting punked out. So, you built him up before you sent him down the street in the yard for the fist fight. You built him up before you sent him down the street in the yard for the fist fight. What do you think this was doing? It was building him up for the inevitable. He was going to have to face off and look at this man. He didn't want to shit his fucking whole intestine stand in front of that dude. Like, yo, when you come out there with headphones on and you're talking about you not willing to talk or do any promotion for a fight that's already fucking dead, it tells you one thing about an individual. He snatched your heart, he snatched your soul. You don't even want to share space with him. So at this point, I'm in full belief that Fury is going to completely destroy this dude. And once again, like I told you, if he doesn't destroy him, it was in the plans. Another thing that I paid very close attention to that I don't think a lot of people paid attention to was the so-called sarcasm that Tyson Fury was bringing to this whole situation. Tyson Fury insisted on talking about, shit, we might as well do a fourth fight, a fifth fight, a sixth fight, a 72nd fight. Christina was sitting there like, yeah, it's looking like that's how it's going to go, whatever. They setting you up for something that could be possibly inevitable, a fourth fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Because for the life of me, I don't see why any fucking promoter, unless you just enjoying sticking it to fucking Al, unless you enjoying emasculating this dude. I mean, yeah, emasculating Deontay Wilder gets fun, but y'all got the boxing world in a fucking uproar. And this is much bigger than just Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. This is about boxing in a whole and how we are continuously watching the shit take a backslide. And when you got a gentleman who is so-called competing in our sport, and he comes out there with headphones on and fucking peanuts, looking like the goddamn circus clown he is, like, yo, all you are selling us is exactly what Tyson Fury said, because if anybody been in a battle before, if anybody shared space with a person who shared space with a person who is simply fearful of everything that you are, they do exactly what he just did. No form of interaction. Let's keep our heads straight. Let's not act like he did. If he bump you in the hallway, you're going to keep it moving and act like he didn't spill a soda on you, and he ain't make you spill your soda on your Nikes, man. If this dude goes out here and get clipped, y'all know what it was. If he goes out there and just railroads run through this dude, you knew it was legitimate. But if he gets clipped, you know what type of person Tyson Fury is. I think that's just a ploy. I think that's just a ploy to play on fear, Mandolo. I truly believe if he came in there at 300, he'd be a goddamn fool. But I do see Tyson coming in at a crisp 270, 280 pounds and going in there and bopping the fuck out of them. The biggest thing that stood out to me most out of everything that they were talking during the entirety of the fight is how quiet Sugar Hill was, because he's confident in his fighter skill set. They're confident in what, Ben Davison and Tyson Fury did in the first fight. He's very confident in how they took the approach in the second fight. Straight up crunk shit. And then this third fight, all you're going to do is enhance, add, and then basically, evolve to Super Saiyan 2.0 and just go in there and beat the fuck out of him. Because one thing that freaking Sugar Hill Stewart said to me that stood out, considering that this crackhead has the fucking chin of a goddamn baby deer, old Bambi ass nigga with the fucking legs of a fucking flamingo. The one thing that stood out to me is when he said, the one thing I like about this situation right now and I like about my fighter is he has one shot knockout power. He's probably been working the whole time, planting his feet, twerking his hips, and really sitting down on that 1-2. If the fight is legit, if it's real. When Tyson said Scott can't make him great, Scott's reply was pretty much that Wilder isn't great. He just tries to add what he already does. Absolutely. He pretty much did everything that I would have done to a Malik Scott. And that's why in some way I'm starting to believe that this thing might be a fucking, maybe a little over, 40, like about I ain't at 2/3. I'm probably about 50% legitimate because, exactly, 300 pounds is mind games. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just at the point now where it's just like, I do believe this could be halfway real. But if you're willing to go out there and take a dive to a dude that has absolutely no chance of beating you, I don't care what anybody says here. The law of averages tells me that lightning don't strike in the same place twice. It doesn't. This would be lightning striking. This shit wouldn't even be striking in the same place twice. Lightning didn't even strike once. Shit, he got his ass fucking whipped both times. So why in the third fight do we all ever think that Deontay Wilder would come in with some type of great skill set that he could get the job done? Have you watched this dude hit the mitts? Have you watched this dude work out in seconds in Malik Scott? They probably broke down about hour segments and chopped that shit up into the best freaking 30-second clips that they could find because that's about the only bit of half-decent work that he could put together. The dude has no balance on his feet. He can't put no combination together. Every time he throws a hook to the body, he hops into it because he's not used to doing it. The only thing the dude is used to doing is throwing a windmill right hand or a straight right hand. Now, I don't see how you can adapt this dude and make this guy a power puncher all over 1 week. You got to believe that this dude's confidence is still shot. Once again, Fury has his heart, mind, body, and soul shoved in his locker, shoved in his water bottle, shoved in every one of his fucking meal preps, shoved in his fucking Build-A-Bear pillow when he sleeps. Got Deontay Wilder heart in that motherfucker and everything. Gave it to his daughter and let her make a wish on that pussy nigga. You got to understand this. Deontay Wilder showed once again exactly what he is. A mentally fragile dude. He has about the strength level of a goddamn Ritz cracker. He has about the hardening scale of a Ritz fucking cracker. Purely. I've never seen any type of clown-ass behavior like this in boxing. And the crazy part is, ooh, that's my shit. And the crazy part is, the fucked up part is, that niggas is just letting him get away with this super doofy shit, these super doofy antics and shit like that. And people aren't understanding how the rest of the world is talking about the sport we love right now. Do you know I just watched one of my favorite fucking shows on YouTube? If anybody's into football or just sports lifestyle in general, there's this shit I watch called I Am Athlete. It has Chad Johnson, goddamn Fred Taylor, former great running back from the Jaguars, fucking Brandon Marshall. All of these dudes are great fucking characters, man. And when I sat there and I watched these gentlemen talk about boxing, because Ocho Cinco just boxed, and he said he wouldn't come back to the sport if he felt like it was a disrespect to what the foundation the other guys laid, unless they embraced him and brought him in. The other gentlemen were talking about how boxing is fucking dead. It's dead. You don't get any of the fights of the old. No Evander Holyfield Tysons. No Evander Holyfield Bows. You get no goddamn Lyle versus Foreman's. You get you get none of this. None of this. You don't get any competitive matches. You get a bunch of cat scratch fever. That is 1000% what boxing is right now, is cat scratch fever. And when you watch Deontay go out in front of the public like that, and he's supposed to be this real deal heavyweight killer in the minds of all of the ignorant black Klansmen running around the goddamn country, it tells you one thing. that there is some validity to what other motherfuckers who play in contact sports like football, one that I highly respect, because there is a very lethal, deadly element to it. If anybody has played the sport in the way that I have, you would understand the ferocity of the game and how it goes hand in hand, and why football players and boxers respect each other, one another. It's a fight for 4 quarters, 15 minutes on end. It's a fucking grind every second. And pussy behavior isn't accepted. So when you look at a guy go out there and conduct himself like that in an arena where we are supposed to have alpha machismo, mano standing off in front of another, flexing on one dude, imposing your will mentally and physically till the other one tops over, until you force your position on a man when you standing over top of him and you got him knocked out, laid out, or emasculated and straight beat for 12 rounds. And in heavyweight boxing, we know it don't go to 12 too often. We don't want to see that shit. The only thing that was entertaining was the fact that Fury brought Malik Scott out there. Look, we got the same shit out of Malik Scott that we got out of Deontay Wilder. Emotions. 2 cracked eardrums, one with fruit punch, the other one with cherry Kool-Aid, and both of them dumbass acting like a motherfucking ass. Emotional niggas, man. What credentials does Malik Scott have to be a trainer? What credentials does Malik Scott have to carry him in the ring to win a fight, when all he has done in fights is take fucking L's and take dives to some of the biggest bums in the sport? That motherfucker went straight MIA when Luis Ortiz was in the building. Missing in action. You getting styled on by 50-plus-year-old niggas. You're taking dives from dudes who you sucking off at the same time, and now you his head trainer. Now I want y'all to picture something. All of the things that we said about Deontay Wilder, Malik Scott being his head trainer, did it not come to fruition when we watched him at this so-called press conference? Did we not see exactly why Malik Scott was who Malik Scott was for Deontay Wilder the entirety of that year? Do we see the position that Shelly moved him in, and how we try to take a back seat based off of all of the bullshit they hear on YouTube about Shelly Finkel and shit like that, and how Deontay Wilder has the most fucked up ideology, thought process, the weakest fucking healing system, the weakest support system, the weakest motherfucking mental fortitude that we have ever seen in the sport? It just simply confirmed everything that we thought. This dude is your yes man. That fucking 3-hour fucking multi-paragraph freaking tweet that the beloved Mark Breland put out. Everything that he exemplified in that fucking tweet, Malik Scott and Deontay Wilder proved to us this night. I mean, earlier this day. And you want to know why? Because Malik Scott went out there and played the entire fucking yes man. I swear to God, the only thing that was missing in his hands was Deontay Wilder's fucking ball sack. It was fucking disgusting. Wilder wearing them headphones like a little boy in a face, or listening to Over the Rainbow while they raided the crib. Man, that nigga was listening to Over the Rainbow, Pocahontas, Just Around the River Bend, Frozen. That nigga should have been listening to Frozen in that motherfucker and let them motherfuckers go. He should have let them motherfuckers go. Like, really, nigga, what's the baby gonna do? It was just a disgusting display of professionalism. I've seen a lot of niggas get their ass whooped in my life before, but I've never seen no individual carry themselves like that. I repeat, I've seen a lot, and I mean a lot, of individuals get their ass whooped, and I've never seen a man carry or conduct himself like that. Do you guys understand the level of the mental breakdown we just experienced here was on the level of somewhat of an Oliver McCall? That was some Oliver McCall like shit. I don't know. I think you guys should be kind of worried about what you're going to experience when you see this motherfucker walk in the ring. You're going to experience something on the level of Oliver McCall. He is going to completely break down. And I'm serious. I'm dead ass serious when I say this dude needs to be on suicide watch if Tyson Fury thumps his ass. I'm dead ass. I put that shit on my kids, yo. Y'all can say I'm bugging or whatever, but a dude who responds to shit like that, who is egotistical on a level like that, who is a fucking 30-plus-year-old man who can't even identify with his loss like that, who is jumping back in the ring, who hasn't even developed any confidence in fighting anybody, getting his right hand to touch anybody's jaw and knock him out, walking in off the back of some shit like that, over a year and some change, signing a freaking contract and then fighting within 8 weeks? You don't think this dude gonna need suicide watch? This motherfucker is liable to kill himself. Or Chris Benoit, the whole entire family. Please, God, don't let no shit like that happen. I swear to God. But all I do was watch JCS psychology, shit like that, Real World Police. All I do is read fucking books on fucking all types of psychological shit. Sun Tzu books, Che Guevara, all that shit. And all of this shit tells me is this motherfucker is one unstable fucking half-bitten fucking bologna sandwich, man. I'm serious, man. That nigga is one sticker short of a Cracker Jack set, man. I take nothing away. Of course, Malik Scott had to be all of the things Deontay Wilder wasn't willing to be, and actually Articulate was one of them. But Malik Scott tried to get up there and spill all this philosophical bullshit. Of course, you try to speak for your boyfriend and everything and try to present him in the way that he's supposed to put. I will give Malik Scott this. Malik Scott is a true friend. He does ride for his guy. So when it comes down to personal life and personal endeavors, I would have to say Malik Scott probably is a great gentleman. Weird motherfucker, but he probably is a good friend. But on behalf of all that, he's kind of a very bad friend at the same time, because one thing about a boxer is you don't let a boxer suffer in fucking delusion. You don't let a boxer walk around with this fucking mindset, this fucking egotistical fucking, this egotistically corrupted Trojan malware fucking inducted mainframe and fucking just spew that fucking virus all onto the world. Nobody needs that viral infection. Our fucking computers are fine, motherfucker. You need to take that shit to Geek Squad. You and your man need to take that bullshit to Geek Squad, because y'all talking some real honky-dory, some real delusional, some real extinction level event kind of talk, B. I don't know where you find these dudes, man. You get shit that, man, I swear to God, it's like they dug this nigga Malik Scott out the bottom of a bag of a fucking box of Life cereal or something like that, man. For the whole entire year, Wilder's made accusations against Fury, but when he's face to face, Wilder says nothing. All that king shit goes out the window when it turns into a motherfucking woman who is submissive to her man, playing her role when he is out in public. You play the back seat to your nigga. You play the back seat to your nigga. And that's what the bitch was doing. He came out there, he conducted himself like a bitch, so I can only refer to him as a bitch. And in saying so, he definitely played the back seat to his boyfriend, to his man-child, to his nigga, his big baby Huey, the nigga that got his heart and soul in his pocket and tips his fucking head over like a goddamn teapot anytime he want Kool-Aid. He just pull out a fucking Rubbermaid cup, stick it to the side of his ear, and get a little juice, because damn, I'm thirsty. Oh my God, if you didn't watch it, boom, it's something that I would highly suggest that you go watch right now, because believe it or not, the talking points are there, the mute points are there, the shock and awe is there, the what the fuck memes are there, the NPC fucking memes are there, everything that you possibly can think of is fucking there. But overall, if I could sum it up in one fucking statement, it was just one big bag of what the fuck. Purely. and simply one big bag of what the fuck. You got one guy trying to sell a fight that is already dead, and another guy who was absolutely too childish to open up his mouth because he doesn't want his fucking computer to function and fucking, you know what I'm saying, and shut down in an even more fucked up way than what it already is. We got one dude trying to save face and can't even be in the presence of another motherfucker, but you can see how bad he was shaking, shivering, and fucking out of place just even being there. I bet it'll never be another co-promotion in his life. The only person this motherfucker gonna be co-promoting with is a shrink while he hanging on the edge of his window trying not to commit suicide and shit. At this point, dog, I don't even know how your wife could respect you. I don't even know how your girl could respect you. I don't know how any motherfucker could respect you. I don't even know how any nigga could look at you and call you king. You got another nigga talking for you. You ain't even willing to talk for yourself. You got the audacity to say there's no more talking. Don't you all want to know the reason why there was no more talking? There was no more talking because the media had an influx, a tsunami's worth of shit, of questions that they wanted to present to this goofball, and he wasn't even willing to be subjected to that questioning, because guess what? A coward is never up for being interrogated. That's something that motherfuckers who walk tall in truth are willing to subject themselves to. Not cowards. Cowards are never up for interrogation. They fold. They rat. You got to be a stand-up guy. Like, you got to be a stand-up guy if you want to be interrogated, take all of the questions, stand up, poke your chest out. When all of that superpower got sucked up out of your soul and all of that kryptonite got ingested into your fucking guts, you see what type of individual he turned himself into that fast. It's absolutely disgusting. Once again, I'm not shocked, but I am shocked by the way he carried it. For an individual to show up, you might as well have kept your ass home, because I guarantee it was a stipulation, because from what I heard first from a reputable source, that there was going to be no press conference, and there was going to be no press conference based on his behalf, allegedly. And we all know that to be so, considering that was the pattern of Wilder versus Fury 2. Then all of a sudden there was a press conference, so I'm sure in some way, shape, or form that was forced on him, considering that regardless of what Bob Arum says, those ticket sales are doing bad. I was in the lives. I jumped from several different fucking lives. I seen all of the people in there. I looked at all the comments. I keep my feet well grounded and fucking versed in the streets. I know what everybody was saying about this fight, and ain't nobody interested in buying that motherfucker. Though, you want to know who getting all of the sales from this fight? Amazon. And put that shit in your pipe and smoke it. Marcella's going to throw a folding chair in the ring. Man, Marcella's, man, look, them niggas got to get patted down and everything before they walk in that motherfucker. I'm trying to tell you right now. And this little nigga, Tay Jones, yo, two-time. I wonder where they got that shit from. I wonder where they got that shit from. Even though what we do is wrong. Ooh. I wonder where they got that shit from. To be fair, if Wilder wins, it will be huge. I doubt it, but if he do, Mr. Cheesehead B, you gotta be serious about one thing here. It's gonna be huge to who? Who is it going to be huge to? It's going to be huge to the individuals. It's going to be huge to the individuals that don't understand how this boxing shit works, because they don't understand how to fix his move. They don't understand the inner workings of boxing. They don't understand that lightning don't strike in the same fucking place twice. They don't understand that a guy, we look at mathematics, we look at the law of averages once again, and you got to understand that a dude who hasn't worked on himself in a fucking year, who got worked over in the first fight to get completely worked over in the second fight, that shows what Tyson Fury showed was improvement. What Tyson Fury showed was he was getting back to prime, his prime form. What Tyson Fury showed was from fight 1 to fight 2, this is an individual who saw his mistakes and his coach picked up on that and they were analyzing and they were working on what they were doing wrong. And what Tyson Fury did was he picked up a light heavyweight world champion. He was already a world champion coach. Shout out to Adonis Stevenson. While them niggas was riding around Ferrari. It ain't like Sugar Hill Stewart was new to this. You know what I mean? But let's look at all of the things Deontay Wilder was. He was a fighter that didn't have a jab. He was a fighter who didn't have footwork. He's a fighter who continuously doesn't have footwork. He was a fighter who said he only needs the right hand. He only needs 2 seconds. He doesn't need 12 fucking rounds. He was a fighter who didn't take fucking Fury seriously. You know what I'm saying? The first time, got beat up. We know he was taking him serious in the second fight, got beat up even worse. So if we are looking at the third fight, what could the third fight be other than Tyson Fury beating his motherfucking ass? Even if Tyson Fury would sleep on the fucking wheel for 5 out of fucking 12 rounds, he would still go and whomp him the other 7 and get the victory and probably stop him inside of 9. If that was the case. But in this fight here, I got Tyson Fury stopping him inside of 5. If it's real. That's if it's real. If it's not real, I got Tyson Fury laying down and these motherfuckers subjecting him to a 4th fight that he shouldn't even be fighting, and these motherfuckers trying to consistently clog up the heavyweight division because they know motherfucking Top Rank is come in and knock on that door. They been waiting for you. Cause 3 is company too. Real rap. 3 is company in motherfucking boxing. 3 is too much company. There can only be 1. And we tired of these shucking and jiving bitch ass niggas holding it up. And the one thing about Tyson Fury, that's a fight we would love to see with Anthony Joshua. But all of this motherfucking so-called fake succession, all of this so-called Deontay Wilder is deserving of a rematch and all of this shit, blah, 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 blah. Trying to put it on like, you know what I mean, COVID was the reason, you know, all of this shit ceased to exist and all of that. Absolutely not. That motherfucker took time off to motherfucking try to regenerate some form of nuts in some shape, form, or fashion. Until they found out about Anthony Joshua and how much of a bitch he was acting, he tried to salvage his reputation in some way. And I'm sure Shirley Wrinkle got in his motherfucking ear and said, look, you have to take this fight. You have to take this fight. You have to take this fight. We can't let this belt slip. Deontay Wilder, if you let this belt slip, there goes any fucking purse that you possibly could get. Do you give a fuck about your kids? Do you give a fuck about your lifestyle? Because right now it's not enough. And there is no way we can tarnish your reputation unless you go in here and get blasted out by this guy. But another conversation could be on top of all of those things that I just said is Shelly is behind the scenes telling them, yo, we've already laid the foundation to fix them, bop, bop, bop. All you got to do is go out here and do X, Y, and Z. But other than that, there can be no save face for this nigga. There can be no giving this dude credit. There can be no, yo, that's a big win for Deontay. No, it's only a big win for the stupid motherfuckers who actually believe that he has the fucking capabilities to go out there and do the impossible. It's only a big win for the stupid motherfuckers who actually believe that this motherfucker right hand can connect like you didn't see it connect 2 times in the last fight in the earlier rounds when he was packed full of energy and it didn't even budge this nigga's big ass bald head. Like I told people, motherfuckers legitimize power off of the back of weak tomato can, sweet like sorbet type opponents, my nigga. Ain't nothing real about this dude. There's nothing real that's going to come out of this thing other than the Deontay Wilder ass whooping. And I would love to see it. Now, when you shorten this thing to 1 press conference, you've taken away the one thing that everybody wanted to see. And you have let us know time and time again that you guys are catering to this fuckboy. So, yes, I'm still sitting at a 49 percentile when it comes to I think this thing is real and do I think this thing is fixed? Because when you're still catering to a guy that is the challenger, a gentleman who is not even the A side in this situation, a gentleman who got railroaded out this motherfucker. Something's wrong here. Something's wrong here. And when I hear motherfuckers talk about having 4, 5, 50, 11 fights and shit, I can look at it like exaggeration, but within exaggeration, there is some truth there. You just got to be able to pick apart some of the bullshit. That's all. Lisa, salute, queen. Wilder had 15 rounds with Wilder had 12 to 15 rounds with Fury. He can beat that boy Fury. Wilder had 12 through 15 rounds with Fury. He can beat that boy Fury. What the fuck does that even mean, social joins? Help me understand you so possibly I can help you and whatever you saying right now, because I just don't get it. I don't get it. He had 12 to 15 rounds with Fury. He actually had 24 and he got beat down in 7. He had 24. He had a total of 24 to make something of himself, but he got beat down in 7 in the second one, and he only won 2 10-8 rounds, and one is debatable in the 12th because he whooped his ass the whole second half of the 12th and rocked him and had him wobbly on the stanky legs. So in what way, if we are looking at this, if we are using our brains here, if we are being realistic here, if we just completely are disconnecting our heads from our ass and allowing ourselves to go, resurge and smell fresh fucking air, in what way do you see Deontay Wilder having a chance to beat Tyson Fury unless the writing's in the wall, unless you got a Kenny Bayless, unless you got powers that be that are trying to extend this shit? Because all I saw was Tyson Fury getting better time and time again. I haven't seen Deontay Wilder improve once. I haven't seen Deontay Wilder with one professional. We haven't seen Deontay Wilder with one sparring partner. We haven't seen Deontay Wilder with anybody of any significance, relevance, or anything that could motherfucking benefit his boxing career. But we have seen Tyson Fury consistently benefit, work with other individuals, go from Ben Davidson, who was a very defensive style coach, go 12 with him and still rock him on the back foot in one style. And we watch him bully him with Sugar Hill Stewart on the front foot and finish him in 7. So basically, he just showed you that he could beat Deontay Wilder in all facets of the game. And Deontay Wilder is not proficient in 1/3 of the game. If all you guys are banking on is, and he can beat Fury, then you shouldn't even be watching boxing. And no disrespect to you or whatever you do, but that's just straight up how I feel about it. And I ain't never been able to hold no filter, man. But I swear to God, I think some of you guys' so-called optimism is more like delusions. And I think there is a thing where motherfuckers need to take the ladder back down to earth. Take the ladder back down to earth. Because motherfuckers will get in comment sections, motherfuckers will get around certain motherfuckers who is just as disconnected as the other fucking legion of Mr. Me Too's, and they will have people starting to believe that this dude actually has a chance when we know this dude don't have a snowball's chance in hell. Period. 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 What chance does this guy have? What chance this guy had? He has had 24 rounds to make something of himself, and all he has done was make an ass an entire shit stain all over the ring of himself. Got Kool-Aid beat out of his ear, so-called dents in his head, make all type of excuses, can't even accept the loss. What type of guy who is that mentally fragile, what type of guy who is that mentally deficient, what type of individual who puts on those type of performances is going to go in there and perform against an elite boxer, and now is starting to become somewhat of a boxer puncher now that he's gotten back in the crunk style, if he starts using his weight properly and sitting down and twerking on his punches. And you think Deontay Wilder actually has a chance? I swear. Hey, man, opinions are like assholes. Everybody got them. I respect it, but I mean, I kind of don't. I respect you, though. But the opinion, no. Man, you a hopeful dude. You hopeful. And I mean, I'm all for hopeful niggas, man. But this dude having a chance, please, man. That's like me when I play Grand Theft Auto and I stand in front of that fucking wheel and I'm trying to win that goddamn car, that free car online every time, and I never get that motherfucker. Well, there's always a chance tomorrow. That's the way they make y'all, that's the way they got y'all feeling like this nigga really got a chance. Like it's gonna be a better tomorrow for this nigga. Y'all ain't never seen a Tom Cruise movie with the girl with the pretty eyes, Emily Blunt? Live, die, and repeat. Live, die, repeat. Live, die, repeat. How many times did the same outcome happen before they even switched that shit up? I do believe it took to the end of the movie, and that shit still wasn't wavy. Live, die, repeat. This shit is absolutely insane, B. This shit is absolutely insane, B. I'm trying to look, man. Look, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. For anybody who believes us, that's all right. The only way that it's going, motherfucking, the only way that I'm going to be proven wrong is if I come back to this screen and I'm just like, I'm done, yo. I'm done. Like, real rap, yo, I might shed a whole fucking gangster tear for real, my nigga. Like, I really might cry, yo. I really might cry because not on camera, but I really might cry in the solitude of my home because of frustration, because I know that boxing will never go back to the prominence it ever was at before that. Like, yo, I look at boxing like, man, every era from the beginning of the 1900s all the way up to, you know what I'm saying, the beginning of the 2000s, you know, we fighters had somebody great to look to aspire to, you know what I'm saying, to model our greatness after. And now when I'm looking at these kids now, they don't have anyone. And the one great fighter that, you know what I'm saying, the couple of great fighters is there, their careers is being stonewalled, and only the couple that are flourished just happily are thankful to be in a certain position. And really, it's not even like, you know, you really get to have free roam and choice of where you want to go. You pick that based off of the weight classes you fucking in. It's a fucking dirty business, man. And if Wilder wins, can't nobody tell me that is nothing but dirty business, bro. I'm a mathematician, bro. I am a person who believes in probability, bro. You can't tell me. Deontay Wilder's, now, if anybody here is a fan of math, you would know Deontay Wilder's biggest probability of winning and taking advantage of this situation was him winning in the first fight. Not the second, not the third, not the fourth, not the fucking 15th, 11th, not the 11th time. None of that. His biggest chance to win was in the first fight, because that's when he tried to catch him off guard. That's when he tried to cherry pick what was supposed to be the sloppily unknown, and it didn't work out for him. He got worked. Now we're going to sit here and we're sit here in some way. We are going to sit here and act like this gentleman, like, yo, all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, this awkward ass angelic light is going to shine down on this dude's fucking lackluster fucking left, right hand, two bad left feet on the fucking dance floor. This fucking coward. Come on, man. Headphones on at the fucking jump, not even talking, disrespecting women. They got to tap you on your shoulder just to get a word up out of you. What gives this dude the right to act like he is on such a high pedestal where he doesn't even have to fucking speak at a press conference, where he is only receiving the lesser of the latter? I'm talking about 30 to 35%. This is what boxing has come to. And at the end of the day, a lot of motherfuckers got to thank themselves for this type of behavior. Because we allowed this shit for too fucking long, man. I wish I would have been a part of boxing. Yo, if I would have started in YouTube boxing 7, 8 years ago, boy, they lucky I'm getting off the porch late with this shit, man. Like, look, all right, let's go there, man. The face off, man. That what I call that awkward moment. First thought, people. Let me know. Face off. Let the face of boxing know, man. First thought, man. What y'all think, man? I'm trying to hide the pain. Proud Father says. Bruce Ford says, said it all. You know what I'm saying? Mandolo salute. He said Jeff headphones and shades are pretending like he didn't hear anything. Like a weak ass coward. He had on headphones to keep fury out his ears and heads. Gotti line the ASO, the OG, salute King. Merle Dixon, salute family. He's like, I think Fury's gonna eat him up. Wilder is past scared. These are facts. Don't ask me, salute. He did speak and he did a poem at the start, just like Ali laughed my ass off. That shit was a fucking cringe, man. And Fury came up there and he said he kept that shit short and sweet, and that shit was about as powerful as the motherfucking Mandela speech. Wilder was trying to portray strength, he failed. Absolutely. Like, bro, that extra long fucking stare down, like, yo, do you think you was going to stare through this whole man's skull? Like, I swear to God, I felt like this motherfucker was trying to keep his mind on something while he was staring at this man, trying to count how many pimples was on this nigga forehead the whole time he was up there to even look at him that long without passing out, falling flat on his face. Like, what the hell was that about? That was the weirdest face-off in the world. It was almost like Fury was like, yo, I got to oblige this shit. He trying to make this shit something more than what it is because you trying to make all the other people around you hostile. Like, bro, like, let's be serious. Deontay Wilder, you could stare at a motherfucker all day. Yo, it's like this. I don't know. Look, I don't wish jail on nobody. But if anybody been to jail before, whenever you hit central booking or whatever, they put you in the tank. They put you in the joint. They put you in the bubble or whatever. The bubble is, you know what I mean? Everybody got to get processed, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to make this short. Basically, to make a long story short is when they put you in central book and say you in that motherfucker and you got niggas that's from other part of town or somebody you might not fuck with or whatever, they look at you, they in one cell and they looking at you and they got all that venom in their face or whatever. They over that joint. You can hear them in the joint faking like they cracking batteries in the sock off the bench and shit. Like they gonna whop you with the sock and batteries or, you know what I'm saying, hit you with the jackmack and all of that shit when you get in there. But truth be told is this though. As soon as you get back to the day room, soon as you get back to the pod, everything changes. When you in that environment, when you go from being split from a cell to in front of each other's face, when you are when your chaos isn't controlled, to when it's like, okay, you amongst the wolves, the lions, the hyenas, the hippos, the tigers, the wolf, all of that. You in here with the orangutans and gorillas, the silverbacks. There's nowhere for you to run. I could tear your whole head off in that cell. What is it? CO. That's Wilder. That's Wilder. All of that fake tough guy staring, all I saw was a scared ass little boy staring from the cell window when a nigga just hit booking and we waiting to get processed to go to the fucking back and this nigga don't want no goddamn smoke. That nigga hiding behind that cell, looking through that little box, hoping that he can get some Prozac, say he got a mental issue, fake like he gonna commit suicide, put him in a turtle suit, give him a rubber tray and a fucking flimsy ass spoon so he can't stab himself or commit suicide, put him in the room with no fucking toilet with a little hole in the floor, have him shitting in his goddamn hand somewhere because he's that type scared. All that staring me in my face all day, my nigga. Let my bitch do that. No disrespect to none of the queens out here. I don't have a girl, but I don't disrespect women. But I'm just saying, let my shorty do that. Let me have my face back, bro. All of this faking like you standing there like you really want this smoke. If you really wanted to smoke, I'm sorry, bro, but I can't believe nothing you say when you don't voice your opinion and you got fucking headphones so far shoved up your fucking ass. Come on, fam. And we supposed to believe that? Like, yo, when a nigga really wants you, he taking these off. He wants to take in everything that's around him. He wants to feel the aura, nigga. I want to feel your energy, nigga. I want to be right here, nigga. I want to be all up underneath your breath, nigga. I want to feel your heartbeat from a half a step away. I want to know what it feels like, nigga. I want to know if you trembling. I want to know if you shake. I want to know if your eyes cut up to the rafters. Because when you standing 3 to 5 feet away from me, nigga, I'm not getting the picture. I'm not getting the message. You ain't showing me nothing but you pussy. Yeah. Fuck out of here, man. You gonna sit up here and pump fake like you really with that? Like, come on, Slim. I know niggas that get busy. You not a nigga that really get busy. That's controlled chaos, my G. That's controlled chaos. Cause for real, while you out here pretending like you a tough guy, the rest of the world looking at you like a fucking clown. You can't even speak for yourself. You got this fake ass acidic Jewishman ass Malik Scott. All I'm thinking the whole time I'm sitting there listening to this motherfucker talk and you with your headphones on, I'm like, is he listening to the fucking Malik Scott OnlyFans soundtrack? Did he finally drop the soundtrack? Tranquil Big Girl Sounds Volume 1? Did he drop that shit? The whole time I'm just sitting there thinking like, look at these clown ass motherfuckers. Look at this nigga that can't even think for himself, that's got to think for this dumb ass nigga and try to make some type of rational perspective out of it. This motherfucker is lost. This nigga's supposed to be his trainer, and he ain't even checking dude on his integrity. You talking about the freaking coaching relationship is stronger than the brotherhood, and you're saying that he's responsive and you're getting everything that you need to get out of the fighter. Basically, what you're saying is he threw a couple of 1-2s on the camera, and you feel blessed that he listened to you a little bit more than a freaking welterweight, which is in Mark Breland, a welterweight world champion, a 5-time Golden Glove champion. That is Mark Breland, one of the most decorated amateurs of all time. That's what basically you're saying, is he's a little bit more responsive to you than a more accomplished coach than Mark Breland. You want to know why that is? Because you let that motherfucker sleep until 1 o'clock. You let him get up. You let that motherfucker eat Cheetos for breakfast, and you let him eat waffles for dinner, nigga. That's why that motherfucker. That's why he's more responsive to you. You cut the crust off his peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and shit, and let him shift around the goddamn letter magnets on your goddamn refrigerator every morning and shit, and teach him 5 words every day. That's the only reason why he's somewhat responsive to anything that you're doing. I get to go over Malik's. Malik, you sleeping in this goddamn man house, man, talking about training this man. Anybody knows anything about training and fighters training, bro, you take fighters out of their comfort zone. And one thing that is a major distraction is family, kids, being in your house, having all of this fucking sex and shit like that. Deontay Wilder is a weird motherfucker, man. There was nothing that he has been doing to prepare him for this day. You heard what he said right after the loss. I got 99 problems, but the king ain't broke, though. Holding is the worst. You get people leaking and screaming. They didn't kill some guy. I'm just here for cheating and Spider-Man's girlfriend. Man, you gonna get a whole lot of weird shit, man. You know what I mean? You gonna get a whole lot of weird shit. And most of all, you gonna get motherfucker. I don't even think why. Look, you know the writings on the wall. I would actually believe this shit is real if Telly Swift don't bring the kids to the fight this time. If Telly Swift don't bring the kids to the fight this time, that's because, you know, it was too painful to be subjected to them getting their ass whooped. Those kids are young. Their minds are impressionable and fragile. And most parents don't like seeing their kids, you know what I'm saying? Most kids don't like seeing their parents go through shit like that. And if they see it once, they like to let them play it out from the crib and not play it out in front of them, because it wears mentally on the fighter psyche, and it weighs on, you know what I'm saying? Weighs on the children as well. So maybe I might be a little bit more of a believer if fucking Telly ain't there. Try to intimidate Fury with that rhythm speeching at the beginning. It's like, bro, the bad thing is the nigga don't even got bars like that. He don't even got bars like that. That nigga worked on that shit for the whole fucking 2 weeks. He had to find a space and where his fucking nuts drop just so he could get that shit to come off the tip of his tongue. This nigga nuts didn't even drop enough to where, yo, he had to find a tough mental space to where he could even get some shit out like that correctly. Like, yo, that shit was so basic. I could freestyle that shit in half a second. I could put a freestyle together better than that in half a second. I could write a song with my eyes closed faster than that in 3 minutes. That shit is goofy shit. You can't listen to that shit. It's going to get him. You want to know the crazy thing about it, Boom? I feel what you saying 1,000%, my G, but at the same time, you and I both know it's just at the point where it don't matter what he's listening to or not listening to, because the get you has already got you, my nigga. You feel me? The get you has already got you. So it don't matter what he tries to listen to. It don't matter what he try to absorb. It don't matter what he try to take in, how many thousand Bibles he read, how many times he's prayed over, how many little pieces of bread and cranberry juice he sip on second Sunday. None of that shit matter. The nigga is going down. He going down. I'm a firm believer in, yo, progress, bro. There's no fucking progress there whatsoever. None whatsoever. That motherfucker didn't progress from the first fight. He ain't progressed from the second fight, and he damn sure ain't gonna progress from the third fight. The only thing that motherfucker's gonna benefit from the third fight is if it's like, wink, 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 wink. Oh, Fury's down. Fury's down. Fury's down. Wilder did it. You know what I mean? Yo, if they let this motherfucker build his confidence back up over a fixed fight, man, I'm telling y'all, man, I'm going to be in my crib crying gangsters kids low key. Then I'm going to rage on this internet. Then I'm going to be like, yo, I'm sorry. I'm either done with the heavyweight division or I'm just done with Reaper Gang Radio in a whole, because boxing will never be what it is again. And when I'm listening to other pro athletes and I'm listening to other individuals around the world talking about they are more excited about watching exhibitions than they are about watching boxing matches, because in some way, shape, or form, the exhibitions are no different than what the boxing matches are, I would have to say that there is some type of validity to that, because you are not watching niggas go out here and get their head knocked off. You're not watching the best fight the best. You're not watching anything but 70-30, 80-20s, 90-10 style fights. I just even highlighted that as I went over the schedule for this week. Like, yo, how many of these fights? Like, yo, I love Naoya Inoue. That's an 80-20. I love fucking shit. Like, come on, man. I might get more kicks out of watching seeing the great Hector Camacho try to move around the ring and shit with old fucking Blueface over there. Like, but like, yo, for us to sit up here and act like, yo, if this shit go down and Fury fucking lose this fight, I'm here to tell y'all there is no way in 7 fucking hells in 7 different languages that Deontay Wilder can ever win this fight. And if you believe it, you're about as delusional as the last shot I sip out my fucking bottle, man. He can't win, bro. He can't. That's why it would have to be. It would have to be a fix. How? I've just pointed out that the only improvement has been made on one side. And when you look at the drastic levels of improvement, there is no room. Where's Deontay Wilder fit in all of this? A right hand? We all know that one hitter quitter shit at the highest level don't translate. He ain't proven himself to be no Mike Tyson or nothing like that, because he ain't knocked over no niggas like that. He ain't no Ernie Shavers. He ain't no Sonny Liston. He ain't no George Foreman. That motherfucker ain't no Ike Ibeabuchi. He ain't none of that shit. He ain't no David Tua. He ain't none of that shit. That nigga don't got no crack like that, B. That nigga ain't no Michael Moore. Yo, shit. Like, for real. You want to know what's some very funny shit? Boone said, 4 undisputed champion in boxing, 3 a woman. What the fuck does that tell you about these niggas? Yo, you want to know what's crazy about that you said that shit, Boone? I literally was just talking about this shit last night when I was looking at a picture of Alicia Bumgarner. I was sitting there thinking, I said, damn, yo. I said, look how far we have fallen when, you know what I'm saying, female boxing is taking the place in the succession of men's boxing, as far as them fighting one another and them having succession as far as the belts moving around and shit like that. I understand they ain't playing with the same type of money and all of that, but heart is heart. And boxing don't, you know what I'm saying, and men boxing don't exude the same shit. So when I'm looking at women's boxing turn up more than men's, this shit is a social justice fucking warriors fucking playground that I don't want nothing, no parts of. Boxing is becoming an extremely leftist movement with some real janky, fruity booty type characters in it. Some motherfuckers that like to live for the fucking show. Some motherfuckers that like to live for the wrestling annex. I live for the wars, bro. And if I can't get them here, I'll watch them somewhere else, bro. I'm not the biggest motherfucking, I'm not the biggest fucking toe and fucking leg lock type nigga. I ain't one of them type niggas that really love MMA like that. I found a home in liking it through the contact and competition over the years when, you know, Zufu was really starting to take off and shit. But I'm not a big MMA fan. I like it, but I'm not the biggest fan, even though I know a lot about it. I'm a true boxing fan. And I feel like if boxing was doing what boxing was supposed to do, we wouldn't have to deal with shit like this. Now, when you think about what I was about to say about Wilder and comparisons, when, you know what I'm saying, when somebody said something about Wilder, when Jeff said Wilder would be more comparable to Michael Grant and shit like that, you want to know who Wilder truly is comparable to, and the fact that he has such a disdain for this individual. It kind of baffles me. It kind of boggles my fucking mind. This motherfucker is more comparable. He is more comparable than Charlie Zelenoff than you guys would ever fucking believe. That shit blew your mind. Hello. 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 Huh? 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 Did I just fuck you up? Huh? Did that shit blow your mind? Yeah. 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 He is more comparable to Charlie Zelenoff than you would ever believe. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Put it in perspective, the person Charlie Zelenoff was his whole internet career, and then put it in perspective, but you really want to be quite frank though? Charlie Zelenoff got more heart than Deontay Wilder, but they suffer from the exact same delusions. Because put Charlie Zelenoff in an Anthony Joshua situation. He would have jumped in the ring. He would have jumped in the ring even though he would have ran out. After he got punched though, he would have ran out. After he got knocked on his ass, he would have ran out. Deontay Wilder won't even get in the ring with an Anthony Joshua. You want to know what a fucking Anthony Joshua to a Charlie Zelenoff would be a Deontay Wilder, if you follow what I'm saying. Like this dude and Charlie Zelenoff have more in fucking common than you would ever believe. And if you go look at the career of Charlie Zelenoff and the fabricated, made-up career of Charlie Zelenoff that he tried to go out his way to fake it till he make it, look at what Deontay Wilder has done and tell me that shit ain't no fucking different. The face of fucking boxing does it again. God damn it, I'm just going to end it right there because I just blew my own fucking mind. As we always say at the end of this shit, it costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind. Deontay Wilder and Charlie Zelenoff got every motherfucking thing in common. That shit is sad. That's the state of motherfucking boxing. Now put that shit in your pipe and smoke it. Peace and love to all. And as always, remember, y'all motherfuckers are stars. So always go out and shine like one. Respect.